Can you believe if I say there is a city in India full of widows? And they are not just a few in number, there are almost 10,000 widows living in that city. And it's not a remote place in India, in fact, it is just a few kilometers from Agra. How can a city have these many widows? Where do they come from? To know more about this, let's dig into it. Before knowing about the city of widows, let's know what it takes to be a widow in India. It takes everything because of the rituals followed in India. For example, the most cruel ritual followed in India, which is called sati. Sati is an act of a Hindu widow burning herself or being burnt to death on the funeral pyre of her husband. In some regions in India, a different version of sati called jauhar was practiced in royal families. The women from those families who have lost their husbands in the war will collectively commit suicide. To commit jauhar, special flammable rooms were built inside the fort with combustible materials. This was well depicted in a movie called Padmavat, portraying it as a pride. But it's actually a shame. There is nothing to be proud of it. From the later part of 18th century, many rulers and reformers tried to bring this horrible practice to an end. Finally, it was abolished by the attempts made by a Bengali social reformer Rajaram Mohan Roy when William Bentinck was the governor. This was what happened in the history, but at least then widows used to die. It was an agony just for few minutes. But in the recent years, the women who have lost their husbands are ill-treated and they suffer for every single second throughout their life. In many families in India, when a woman loses her husband and if she is jobless, she is considered as a burden to her family. And a few even consider her as a bad luck. Now, let's come back to the city of widows. This is a sacred city and believed that Lord Krishna spent his childhood here. There are thousands of Krishna temples in this city and people visit this place to worship Krishna and many settle there permanently seeking salvation. Many widows, especially in the northeast India, who become homeless will move to Vrindavan. They stay in the ashrams in Vrindavan. Though they choose that city to seek salvation and to worship Lord Krishna, their lives are becoming miserable. Leaving their families behind, they move to a totally strange place without any earning. A whole day of bhajans and prayers earn them a meager amount of money. Now, you may think that the ashrams which they live in would take care of them, but that's not happening. The infrastructure of those ashrams is not so good, and so does the surroundings. They don't get proper food or nourishment or not even proper blankets or safe drinking water. They have to stand in long queues to get their food in the temple. The saddest part is that not everyone receives pension. Many of these women are not even aware of the pension schemes in India. To survive, they end up begging in the streets. And a few were even forced to choose sex working by the local pimps. Many are tortured by the sex traders there. And if they become pregnant, either they have to abort it or they have to beg extra for that child. The victims are scared to raise their voice against the ashrams because they have no other place to go. Even the government of Uttar Pradesh has failed to take any effective steps for the betterment of their lives. We escaped from home and reached here for peace, but this place is treating us worse, says Rani Datta, a widow from a private ashram in Vrindavan. She also added that another widow in that ashram, who was her friend for a few days, was raped by a follower of that ashram and sometimes by the head of that ashram. Other young widows left prey to the human trafficking, and among these victims, many suffer severely from STDs. Widows there are not having enough awareness about the widow pension schemes by the government. But the pension amount is too less. If they have proper ID proof, they receive Rs 600 from the Indian government and Rs 1200 from the UP government, not per month, per year. In general, in India, a woman who loses her husband is not getting enough respect and not treated well. She should change her appearance and the way of living even though she suffers a great loss. But on the contrary, when a man loses his wife, either he will stay alone without any forced lifestyle changes or he will be expected to marry again. Why widows are expected to mourn throughout their lives? What do you think? Widows should marry or not? Please do comment.